Okay, here we are. This is going to be Restringing an American Girl Doll tutorial, part 1. Ignore my really messy sewing area. This is where I do all of my doll-related, pretty much anything. Okay, so here goes. It's probably going to be 2 parts because last I checked, YouTube will only do a 10 or 15 minute video, but I don't want to leave anything out. Okay, we're going to start with this guy who I'll be listing as a custom boy pretty soon. Used to be a girl doll, he's been rewigged, but as you can see, he has very loose limbs, so he needs to be restrung. So, there are a couple of different ways to restring a doll, and I can show you how to do it both ways. One involves using, well, all of the methods actually involve needle nose pliers. That's the most important thing. Right here is this little guy, followed by a blow dryer. Some people use hot water. I think a blow dryer, it works just fine, and that way I don't have to worry about getting any moisture down inside the doll's limbs. Scissors, some bungee. Some tutorials suggest doing it with ponytail elastics. You can do that, but it's not going to last nearly as long as like the high quality restringing bungee. This is the same thickness that AG uses, and I think you can get it in bulk, like several meters or yards, however it's measured, for like $12 or $13 from Bavas International. I think that's how you pronounce it, so just go with me on that. Anyway, BAVAS International.com, and they sell on eBay too. And for like that $12 or $13, I can restring like 7 or 8 dolls, so it's really cheap, really, really cheap. Now there's 2 methods. Like I said, there's the clamp method that people use, which I should have showed you that before I cut it. The brass clamps come in these little packages right here. If I go to my my Lowe's, it's not in the hardware section by like all the nails and screws and things like that like you would think it would be. It's actually in the plumbing section, and they're brass inserts. So you're gonna have to go over by the plumbing section. They were really useless in helping me to find these at my Lowe's because everybody thought they would be in the hardware section. But what they are is they're brass clamps, just like AG used to use. They use the knot method now. Some people don't like the knot method. They think that it comes loose quicker, so they still prefer to use the brass clamps. If I have the brass clamps and I feel like using it, and it's an older doll, I'll usually use the brass clamps. Usually I don't even use them anymore because I found the knot method to be just as reliable. I use a needle nose pliers to tighten my knot, to pull it, and I think that's really the key, because once you stretch out that elastic and pull the knot super tight, it's going to grab kind of on itself, and it's much less likely to come loose. Some people do both. They knot it and they put the clamp on the end. Now, if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, you'll see as we go. So I've got my bungee. I have my loose limb dowel. And we're going to start by untying the neck strings. I use needle nose pliers to loosen it so that, frankly, I don't break a fingernail. And it's super easy, just like that. And that we don't have to pick on it and worry about fraying it. So there you go. That quick. The head is untied. It's really intimidating the first time you do it, but it's seriously so easy. So you just take the head off. Here's the doll head. Lovely. Here's all the stuffing. Now when I pull my stuffing out, there's a lot in there. You're not going to believe how much they can fit in unless you have experience making dolls. So I just take it. I've got this Emily box lid right here. Make sure the lid that you put all of your stuffing into is super, or basket or bowl or whatever you use, make sure it's super clean so you don't get any extra like weird fuzz or fur. If you have pets, you don't want any dog fur to get in it and to poke out of your doll's torso because that's weird and gross. So anyway, I have dogs, but they're not allowed by me right here. They're outside right now. So yeah, you just want to pull all of your stuffing out. super fun. My kids call it gutting the doll. It's so gruesome. They were so creeped out the first time they saw me take a doll apart. Truth be told, I was a little bit creeped out too. My little sister doesn't even like coming over here when I have dolls disassembled. She's like, they look so creepy. So just pull your stuffing out. Like I said, you're not going to believe, unless you've done this before, how much stuffing they can fit into the torso of an American Girl doll. It's crazy. And yes, you can fit it all back in there. Sometimes you get extra stuffing that's kind of wrapped around the bungee that's in there. Make sure you get it all, because you don't want your doll to be soft after you restuff. There's going to be little random pieces floating around in there. I think I got it all. Pretty good. Okay, so now you have your empty doll body. And I'm at 5 minutes, so we're good. Okay, so how American Girl used to do it, this is an older doll body, is, see, they have the crimps on there like I was telling you about. Their sleeves are shorter than the ones that you can use for recrimping, but I mean, it's still exactly the same. But when I do this, I'm not going to use it, but I'll show you, if you want to do it that way, when and where to use the crimps. So anyway, you're going to see these white cups on the inside of all the joints, the arms, and the legs. So what you do is you're just going to pull your bungee, oops, and cut it either under the crimp, the brass crimp, or if your doll doesn't have a crimp, it just has a knot tied, cut it underneath the tied knot. There you go. Your cup will come off, and your arm will come off. And you'll hear another cup actually inside of there with the end of your bungee attached that you cut. So that's fine. So set that down. Keep your cup. You can dump your old crimp in your old bungee. We don't need that, so pitch it. Same thing, we're going to cut all of our limbs loose. Make sure that you don't accidentally cut your doll's torso or, you know, scratch your doll with the scissors, anything like that. So here's the other limb, I just cut it off. And again, you've got the cup inside there, which I'll show you how to take out. And then we have the other cup. Oops, there's some more stuffing. There you go. Now the arms are off. Now we're going to reach down inside the body. And same thing with the legs. There's a cup on the inside of the doll's torso and then a cup inside the leg. You're just going to cut underneath either the knot or the brass crimp. Snip. Whoa, it totally stood up. How random. So here you go. Again, there's your leg with the cup and the little piece of whatever down in there, bungee. And the last leg. And it's handy to be able to restring for a lot of reasons. Like, number one, obviously, because not everybody can do it or feels comfortable doing it. So you can get dolls that are a little less expensive if you want to fix them up yourself. And if you ever get a spill on the torso and you want to take your doll apart to wash the torso without having to soak all of the stuffing and everything, again, restringing is super handy. So here's our last leg. Now we have all 4 of our limbs and our torso, and it's all loose, and the head. I'm at 9 minutes, and I cannot remember if YouTube is 10 or 15 minutes now, so I think this is a good place to stop for the first one. Yay, be back in a minute.